And it is in that way that the dairy is contributing to the diabetes. How many people in Australia wake up to those four? Isn't it true that many do? Not realising the danger. Many are sick through ignorance. So, to conquer diabetes, these four things have to stop.
In this video, we'll reveal a surprising yet hidden health risk lurking in your daily routine that could be silently harming your well-being, along with a rarely discussed tip that could make all the difference, with expert Barbara O'Neill. Stay with us because every moment unlocks a longer, vibrant life.
Dairy. Now, I'm not talking about Lulabelle in the paddock who's eating organic grass and gets milked and drunk. You know, that's been happening for centuries all through the northern European countries, and it hasn't caused diabetes. See, today, the milk is altered. Today, the cows are given... Do you know 80% of the antibiotics that are made go to animals? But what happens with the dairy when it breaks down in the gut, and the current figures, this was in the newspaper, that 60% of Australians cannot handle dairy. Now, if we change that to organic raw milk, it'd bring it down to probably 30%. They can't break down those large globules in their gut. And so what's happening is molecules are getting into the blood that shouldn't be in there. Let's say the molecules that are broken down from the dairy look like that.
Today's dairy differs significantly from traditional milk due to the extensive use of antibiotics and genetic modifications in dairy cows. Research from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, highlights that overuse of antibiotics in dairy farming can impact human gut health by promoting antibiotic-resistant bacteria. This imbalance may disrupt the gut bacteria necessary for breaking down dairy, contributing to digestive issues and potentially to lactose intolerance. Another factor is the difference between A1 and A2 beta-casein proteins in milk. Dairy from traditional breeds often contains only A2 protein, which is easier to digest and may reduce inflammation, while A1 protein is associated with digestive issues. Studies show that individuals with lactose intolerance or dairy sensitivities may find relief with A2 milk, which lacks the inflammatory A1 beta-casein protein.
So what happens now? The body creates antibodies. Let's say this is an antibody to actually wipe that out. So they wipe out the antibodies, and then they look across, and the beta cells in the pancreas have a similar structure. So these antibodies that were created to wipe out those molecules broken down from the dairy, they come over and start wiping out the beta cells in the pancreas. And it is in that way that the dairy is contributing to the diabetes. How many people in Australia wake up to those four? Isn't it true that many do? Not realising the danger. Many are sick through ignorance. So, to conquer diabetes, these four things have to stop.
Autoimmune reactions triggered by certain dairy proteins can contribute to type 1 diabetes. Research indicates that some proteins in cow's milk resemble structures found in the pancreas's insulin-producing cells, causing an immune response that mistakenly attacks these cells in genetically susceptible individuals. A diabetes care study reveals that specific cow's milk proteins can lead to this autoimmune misidentification, increasing the risk for type 1 diabetes in those with inherited immune system factors. Additionally, people with type 2 diabetes may experience inflammation from certain proteins in dairy, potentially leading to insulin resistance, where the body doesn't respond effectively to insulin. Choosing milk alternatives with lower protein content, such as oat or rice milk, can help those concerned about immune responses related to dairy.
Number 2, another important point in conquering diabetes is hydration. The hardest time to drink water is in the cold weather, is that right? Well, boil the kettle and make it hot water. Put a squeeze of lemon with it. You just got to find out some way to get it in. Because Your pancreas needs water to make these hormones that control your blood glucose levels. In fact, if someone's blood glucose levels are going down and they take a glass of water, do you know that will cause a release, or the body to help release some of the glucose to bring it up a little bit. But not only hydration, which is approximately 8 glasses a day, but also salt. Now, it is at this point that I'd like to explain salt, because this will also help with the blood pressure. So your seawater has 92 minerals, and of those 92 minerals, 30% is sodium. Can you see how God meant us to be having sodium with all the other minerals to buffer it out? 50% is chloride.
Maintaining hydration and mineral intake is crucial for cardiovascular and kidney health. Staying hydrated keeps blood volume steady, promoting good circulation and stable blood pressure. Natural salts, like sea salt, contain trace minerals such as potassium, magnesium, and calcium that aid in balancing fluids and supporting cellular function. Studies suggest that electrolytes in natural salts, unlike those in processed table salt, help manage blood pressure and fluid balance. Harvard Health Publishing points out that these minerals help the body manage sodium's impact on blood pressure, supporting fluid balance and muscle function, especially in older adults.
And because these make up the largest amount of minerals, when the first crystals are formed, when the seawater's evaporated, when the water's evaporated from the seawater, sodium chloride. So they scoop that up, no time to wait for the rest to be evaporated. Bleach it white, put aluminium with it, there's your table salt. Table salt has 2 minerals. Yes, it is true that table salt will help the blood pressure to go up because it causes a mineral imbalance in and out of the cell. You see, the highest concentration of mineral inside the cell is potassium, and the highest concentration outside the cell is sodium. So when these are taken in these high amounts, it causes an imbalance.
Refined table salt is primarily composed of sodium chloride and often lacks the essential minerals found in natural salts. It commonly contains additives like anti-caking agents and, in some cases, aluminum compounds. Studies have raised concerns about these additives, with some suggesting aluminum exposure could be linked to neurological conditions, although more research is needed. Natural salts, such as sea or Himalayan salt, provide minerals like potassium and magnesium that support cellular function and fluid balance. The American Heart Association recommends moderate use of natural salts over refined ones to gain these benefits while still limiting overall salt intake to prevent high blood pressure.
The doctor's right. Table salt will get the blood pressure up, and so will no salt, because your cells need that little bit of salt. So my suggestion is to take the Celtic salt. The Celtic salt contains 82 minerals, and the Himalayan salt, it contains 75 minerals. One of the beauties of the Celtic salt is it has 3 magnesiums, and magnesium is a muscle relaxant, and magnesium relaxes that heart at rest.
Celtic and Himalayan salts are particularly rich in magnesium, a mineral beneficial for muscle relaxation and cardiovascular health. Research from the American Heart Association shows that magnesium helps lower blood pressure and improves heart rate variability, potentially reducing risks related to heart disease. Magnesium is also vital for muscle recovery, making these salts beneficial for those with active lifestyles or muscle stiffness. Studies from the NIH highlight magnesium's role in maintaining electrolyte balance and supporting nerve function. Older adults often require extra magnesium for heart health and muscle relaxation, and using Celtic or Himalayan salt can support these needs in a natural way. Your presence here is so important, and I'm grateful for every minute you invest in your health. Subscribe to the channel, and if you've made it to the end, comment. I'm committed to my longevity. Let's keep evolving together on this vibrant journey toward better health.